Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's edition of Harmonize 2Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I work remotely for the Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Institute here in Arizona, the US of A. Welcome, everybody. I hope you've had a good week and will continue to do so. Welcome, new people. The art of Jin Shin Jyutsu is really about harmonizing life energy in the body. It's not a replacement for medical care. It's a complement. And what we're doing is harmonizing life energy as it moves or not, congruently or not, through our bodies. And we do that by placing either our palms of our hands, the back of our hands, our thumbs, fingers, on what we call 26 safety energy locks left and right of the spine. When these safety energy locks are clear, energy or chi or ki can move congruently through them and be redirected according to different patterns to keep different areas of our life, spirit, mind, and body in harmony. So in Jin Shin Jyutsu, we're always looking, or we're conscious of looking for the harmony. And it is an art. It's a journey that begins the first breath we take, and as our awareness grows with that breath, we learn that that breath has brought in light that travels through our body and finds its access to our organs and cells through these safety energy locks. So without further ado, for the new people in particular, and anyone who needs a gentle reminder, let's have a quick look at the Jin Shin Jyutsu, the Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu website. And by the way, in case anyone's wondering, the Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Institute is the authentic source of teaching Jin Shin Jyutsu in the world. So here we go and have a look at the website. And here it is, www.jsjinc.net, if you need to write that down. Here's all our different menu labels that you can click on and find out about what's going on or what you need to know. Coming up tomorrow with myself hosting is Maria Jesus or Chus Arias, the MD from Spain, medical doctor from Spain. Jin Shin Jyutsu and dental projects, taking care of the energy, nurturing and regenerating teeth and gums. Here's all the information. This is what you're going to learn about. You can register either by credit card in the blue box with white letters or PayPal. You can click here. If you're using PayPal, the Zoom access will be delivered via email 24 hours before the webinar starts. No refunds on purchases, but however, the purchases include 3 months of online access after the class is finished. An ongoing basic seminar with another MD, Yoli Lebenstein, has been carrying on a Wednesday, and you can join it at any time because, as I said, there's replays. You can go back over the bits that you've missed. Here's all the information, and there's where you sign up. There's your organizer. And beginning today, a special topic on menopause and fertility led by German instructor Walter Rodrigo Krause, and it'll be presented in English with Portuguese translation. There's the tuition fee, the prerequisite, at least 1 5-day class. There's all the information, times, your organizer Cecilia Godau and co-organizer Monica Malheros. You registered today there. And if you've missed any of our online offerings, here are all the links. You click on each one and you can go to all the different classes that we've had over the past 2 or 3 years, 2.5 years, and click on there and you'll get the 3 months replay as well. So, without further ado, glad to see there's a little more of you today than has been the case in the past 2 or so weeks. I don't know what is happening with the relay of the links. Webinar Jam, people tell me they're on it. But all I can say to people in the meantime is just keep re-registering if you're not getting the link. And if it's not in spam, and if it's not in junk or promotions, then, you know, I'm relying on Webinar Jam to come to some solution for us. But in the meantime, what can you do? Hold your thumbs, re-register. Anyway, welcome. And today we're looking at Safety Energy Lock 21, which I think is a rather perfect choice for what the world appears to be going through and how we are adapting to it. And as you know, I read explanations or perspectives from excerpts from the main central on Safety Energy Lock 21, to give us, you know, an expanded view. We have the instructor's view alongside the teacher's view, Mary. But let's have a look at the slides so you can all see which Safety Energy Lock we're actually talking about, especially for you new people. Here it is. Safety Energy Lock 21, you can see it underneath the cheekbones there. And Mary says, and if you've got Self-Help Book 2, page 53, 21 came into the universe meaning profound, security, escape from mental bondage. Now, I've done the profound, security, because that's how it was written there, but it's actually on the chart as this here chart as profound security, not profound, And so let's dwell on a little perspective from, or a large perspective from Jed Schwartz, followed by Lynn Pfluger. So Jed says, as I walked through the casino in Reno, Nevada, where we were having our Jin Shin Jyutsu seminar, I paid particular attention to the blackjack table. I kept noticing how people playing blackjack, or the game of 21, were holding their cheekbone as they decided to take a card. What is the fascination with 21, except maybe our desire to escape from mental baggage? 21, he says, is our profound security. So what's that? Webster says profound, deeply realized or felt from danger, fear, anxiety, uncertainty, or doubt. Now, I would suggest that these are the times where a vast majority of people are experiencing these responses. And he also goes on to talk about dependability and stability. I think many folks are looking for dependability and stability right now. We're going through what appears to be a huge transitional time on this planet. So in our society, 21 is significant for the rite of passage into adulthood. It is the age when we move from being thought of as an adolescent to being viewed as an adult. Why 21? It is the end of the third cycle of 7. Mary Burmeister, our teacher, speaks about this third cycle of 7 years between the ages of 15 and 21 as the time when the light of the spirit develops in maturing consciousness, the mental body taking hold of spiritual consciousness. This, it seems, energetically gives us what is necessary to become grown up. This profound security enables us to expand out into the world, but not carry its weight. Wow, that's something to consider. So Lynn Pfluger, she starts off with a quote from Carlos Castaneda. Those of you that might be familiar with mescaline and other psychotropic psychotropic plants will know that he wrote books such as The Journey to Ixtlan on psychotropic plants that he experimented with in South America. The quote is, "Conclusions arrived through reasoning have very little or no influence in altering the course of our lives." Interesting. I'm not so totally sure that that's completely true. I think if we use our mind appropriately, our reasoning can help us understand things a lot clearer. But I think there's the rub, the clarity, and I think this is where Lynn is going. Are you trying to figure something out? Do you have a lot on your mind? Simply jump a cable safety energy lock 21 with the addition of opposite 23. Those of you that know the stomach flow know this is one of the positions. To understand this relationship, study the stomach flow. This quickie will begin to relieve and harmonize worrisome or burdensome thoughts in the mind. Mary says the mind is intended to be a receiver of the Creator's thoughts. In some ways, yes, and in some ways a processor, not to be used as a trying-to tool for satisfying the intellect. As 21 empties, it can then receive cosmic consciousness, descending the face from safety energy lock 20. Remember 20 giving us that universal awareness. Changing our thinking will change our world. In the Tarot, 21 is the world. Dr. Paul Foster Case, who wrote the Tarot, or the Key to the Wisdom of Ages, says in his book, the limitations of the physical plane in its 3 dimensions no longer bind the consciousness of the adept. 21 is freedom and liberation from bondage. Lock 23, our 4th depth friend, acts as a soothing balm, harmonizing insecurities, thus raising our thought life to higher planes. Wonderful. I hope some of you feel some security from knowing that and might even consider practicing what we're going to do now on a regular basis right now in this world, and that we're experiencing lots of profound or perhaps just plain insecurity. And no one is removed from that. There's very few who can actually say, in my experience at least, I haven't got a care in the world. So there it is, 21. And Mary shows us ways of harmonizing it. And we're holding the thumb she's holding, and she's holding the opposite 19 and high 1 by the looks. Yeah. Or she's actually holding safety energy lock number 1. Interesting, but it looks like a high 1. So what we can do, we can divide this practice into 4 sections. We can begin by holding the 21s, and then we can go to holding the high 1s there. And then we can go and do the other 2, the thumb and the 19 and opposite 1. So let us begin. And as you know, I like to practice these things on the cycle of 4 sets of 9 exhalation inhalations, and a breath in Jin Shin Jyutsu is the movement of energy from safety energy lock number 4, which is the first depth safety energy lock, down through the 15 in the groin to the big toes, and then from the big toes up the back through that whole pelvic girdle where the 15 and at the back the 2 sit, all the way back up to the occiput, the safety energy lock 4, and that is 1 breath. So let us begin. We can hold the 21s under the cheekbones. Doesn't matter if you hold it close to the nose. If you do, that's fine. It helps large intestine and kidney. Or you can move it out further to a little bit near the ear, where it'll help small intestine and umbilicus. There's quite a lot of connections in the face. Face flows. Isn't that interesting? All to do with mental, emotional. Interesting. So let us begin. Sit up straight as you can. If you've got a tendency to have a dicky back, put a cush to support yourself. Sit up as straight as you can. Drop your shoulders. Exhale. and then allow this energy from the 4 to come all the way down through the 21, all the way down through the 15 to the big toe, and then back up to 15, 7, 15, 2 to 4. If this is uncomfortable, take one hand away and put that on the opposite thigh, on the same side thigh. Otherwise, here we go. 9 exhalation inhalations. And as you're letting go, you're releasing all your dirt, dust, and greasy grime, all those worrisome, burdensome thoughts. Let them go to earth, which is also a first depth connection there to that degree of groundedness. And as you breathe in, purifying the back, the spinal centers or chakras. No particular way of breathing, i.e. in through the mouth, out through the nose, in through the nose, none of that, and just what comes naturally. That's not deriding all those different approaches. It's just that with Jin Shin Jyutsu, we just allow what comes naturally. And we're listening for connection. And it takes the sound of a pulse, like you would feel on your radial artery, the blood pulse. Except this is the energy pulse. The blood follows the energy. So when you feel a pulse, you can hear a pulse, a throbbing, you know that these safety energy locks are communicating with one another. And that's what we want. Good, clean communication. Minimum of blockages. You may find one cheekbone fuller than the other. Well, that might be the cheekbone that you focus on, or the side of the stomach flow that you work with first, if you know that flow. I hear a lot of people suffering from trigeminal neuralgia these days, which is affecting here, it's in front of the ear. So holding the 21s would be very profoundly helpful for that particular symptom or project. And as you go through the process, you eventually reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, and just pause for a little bit. You can take one hand away if you wish. We'll keep them there. And just notice how you're feeling and where you're feeling. Just be the witness. Just observe. Notice any sensations in the body as the energy has moved. Hopefully from the 21s down through the 15s there to the big toes. How clear do you feel? Is your mind feeling clearer? Okay. Second practice. You can see it there on the slide. Cross your hands. Hold them on your thighs. Just make that connection. Keeping your back as straight as possible. Drop shoulders. Breathing out. This is also, by the way, helpful for clearing the lungs, the bustline generally, and if you're having a coughing fit. Monday was tax day in the USA, and if you're a CPA, you were probably really very busy, because by and large people leave things to the last minute. And maybe your mind was filled with all kinds of thoughts going on, lots of pressure. This would be a good flow if you now have the opportunity to relax. Pull away all that extra thinking and allow it to transform into clarity, to peace, to harmony. For new people, you can do any of these practices laying down, standing up, or sitting. And as I said, thumbs, fingers, palms, back of hand, you can hold them on these safety energy locks. This is what is known as the high one. This is really a practice in letting go of too much thinking and trying to, which is a heart consideration, heart, small intestine. And here, of course, this segment of the body is bustline, heart, and lung. And again, when you feel pulsation in the thighs, you know that there's communication and the energy is connecting, harmonizing, transforming blockages, feeding our cells more congruently, keeping our energy flow more harmonized. And removing all those worries, fears, and doubts bit by bit. I'm not going to say they suddenly disappear, or they might. Depends where you are on your journey of cleaning your house, as it were. Whether you've reached the hoovering stage or you're just dusting. No expectations, just allow. Okay, wonderful. So the next practice is here. Oh, just remain in the neutral position for a little bit to observe how you feel now after doing that practice. And then we'll look at our thumbs, jumper cabling the right or left thumb. And I often suggest that you check the sides of each thumb, find which thumb is perhaps more tender than the other one. You know, that's probably one where energy is particularly crystallized. So it might be good to hold that thumb to begin with. And you can place your hands in your lap, center 15. Sit up straight as you can. Close eyes, breathe out, and feel the energy move all the way through your body, through your thumbs, down to your feet. And of course, thumbs do harmonize worry. And they do help clear the first and second depth. Second depth is all about clearing the mind. And let's keep going for 9 exhalation inhalations. As we exhale, we're letting go and inhaling. There's this exchange. We're exchanging the old for the new. It's the old Aladdin story. The old lamps for new. And that's not so unrealistic, because the mind is either a lamp to help guide us, or it's a fog. And seeing through fog is not that easy. We mentioned Safety Energy Lock 20, the universal consciousness last time we talked about energy locks. We need to have that whole area, that gland, really clear. So not only can we have a clear conscience, we can have clear consciousness, where we can bring in vibrations of light and sound and other frequencies outside and inside that we do not normally connect to, but those that will clarify and help us in our journey to greater awareness of harmony. And our mind can either obstruct or conduct and process if we allow it to. When we don't trust our mind, we overthink, we worry. It's blockages, my friends, just energetic blockages. We take responsibility and we do the practices to harmonize all these restrictions, transform them into clarity, wisdom, insight. Okay, good. When you've done 9 exhalation inhalations holding right or left thumb, we're going to move to the last practice. By the way, if you've noticed any one of these practices gives you a greater sense of expansion and movement of energy, that's the one that you might want to choose spending a lot longer on in the future in your practice. If you do, you might want to do 36 breaths on just that practice. But for now, let's do the last one. You choose right or left upper arm and right or left. Well, you choose the opposite thigh to whichever side you choose the arm, and vice versa. So I'm choosing my right upper arm and I'm going to be holding my left thigh, just as in the diagram actually. So here we go. 9 exhalation inhalations. And remember, we're listening for a pulse in both these areas, the upper arm, the opposite thigh, and opposite upper arm, whichever way you want to think about it. So the energy is moving in spirals, clockwise spirals down the front, and clockwise spirals up the back. Exhaling, letting go, inhaling, purifying, building anew for the next cycle. And again, when you reach the 9th exhalation inhalation, you've completed the 36 breaths. Just sit quietly wherever you are. You can give yourself a hug, well done. And the hug is thumbs underneath the shoulder girdle and fingers on the side of the shoulder blade. You can do both at once or one at a time, and place the other hand on that thigh that you've become familiar with. So how are you all feeling? I hope, at the very least, reasonably peaceful. These 21s. Yes, the descending safety engine locks are going to pull down the energy that's getting a little too busy in the brain, in your mind, in consciousness. And that allows energy to circulate better and harmonize the thinking, because, I do it. We can get ourselves a bit like a corkscrew. We just get a little wound up sometimes about things, and we wonder what's going on anymore. And our mind is apt to fill us with all kinds of rationales. And I'm not saying that rationale is a bad thing. I think it's the handing over of the rationale that is the key with the 21. We don't ruminate. We allow the energy to move, because as it moves through all the different levels of our body, it's also moving through from our soul, the bus line, through our mind, the waistline, through to our body, to earth. It's manifesting as something, and we want to manifest the clearest possible understanding of a situation, I think, I hope. And maybe if more people did this, there would be less burdensome burdens. People would clearly see a bigger picture. The 20s allowing the clarity, and the 21s restricting the ability of the mind to get burdened. So we need them all. And then as we go down to 22, which connects to 144,000 special functions, that is expanding the energy pathways completely at all those different levels. And 144 is a 9, so we're ending a cycle and beginning a new, and we were doing those 9 exhalation inhalations. So if it works for you, experiment with the 36 breaths, or just multiples of 9. And if this practice talks to you, choose one or all of them and work with them until you get a sense of profound security, clarity. And in Self-Help Book 2, it helps equilibrium, balance, dizziness, mental tension, stress, energy buildup, weight balance. I know many people are concerned about their weight. Well, most of our weight begins to be a burden in our mind. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when you're feeling a little emotional, and this is face flow, face safety energy lock, part of the face flow, we might eat more, because eating can slow down the process of worrying and thinking. That's the psychological value of overeating. Don't want to look at it. Let's slow down the mind. Let's cut it out of the situation and fill ourselves up with cream or whatever else we want to do, because it's too burdensome to look at, too painful. I get it. Breathe out. Hold those 21s. Hold those thumbs. Hold the high 19 actually with the opposite high one, or both high ones together. Bring those processes down. Do not, if you can possibly avoid it, hold on. I think 21 is teaching people trust. I have a thought, I think about it, then I let it go. And I trust the universal consciousness from 20 through to 22 will relieve me of any burdensome thoughts and give me greater clarity and perhaps some solutions. Because 20 is being in that soul dimension, if you like, that bus line, heart, lung, where the soul convenes. So I'm told. Well, anyway, we're coming up to 11:40. I don't see any questions. Yeah. Okay, good. And thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. And the reminder's not coming, as I said at the beginning. I've not had any reply that's given me a solution to that from Webinar Jam. So I'm just recommending everyone re-register. I will straight away go and upload this so that it's on YouTube. You should also get a copy of it sent to you directly. But of course, if the email situation is slightly fuzzy, you may not. And so go to our YouTube page, the Jin Shin Jyutsu official YouTube page, and you'll get a chance to replay this ad infinitum. All right. Well, very good. Thank you for sharing today, being with us. Really appreciate your support. And I don't know what's happening next Friday. We may have a mystery presenter, we may not. But it's always interesting. At least I think so. So take care. Let go. And let the energy of the universal consciousness, the purity of the universal consciousness, the harmony of the universal consciousness be your guide. Bye-bye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, cheerio, and have a good rest of the day, weekend, week. Until next Friday, same time, same place.